Hello, hello, and welcome back to another Read With Me session here on this beautiful, beautiful book, The Little Money Bible by Stuart Wilde, 10 Laws of Abundance that we have been diving into. We are currently on law number 8, okay? We've gone through 1 through 6. And so if you missed any of the laws or you want to recap on the laws, definitely go into the playlist that we have here on our YouTube channel and you can definitely revisit them, check them out, listen to them again and again and again and again if you would like to. Would love to hear your feedback. If you're finding value from this particular book, let us know in the comments. Appreciate you being here and go ahead and share it with a friend or family member of yours if you felt like this book has been giving you life, giving you great wisdom, insight, perspective on laws of abundance. So we're going to dive right into it. Page 75, if you have the physical book, it's a really cute book. One of the exercises we did last week in our inner circle was writing that letter to the universe, to God, asking for your cash refund because money is just energy. And that's what Stuart Wilde is actually putting out there. Money is neutral. It's not good. It's not bad. It's neutral. Okay. And so it is just energy. And so I love when he talks about like if you are in business or whatever you're doing, you're selling light, you're selling love. That's what people are drawn to. And so there is no competition. Okay. You are infinite being and you sell light. I'm an infinite being and I sell light. So let's dive right into it. We're going to dive into the law of giving and receiving. Okay. The last law we went into was the law of money and ego. Okay. Really great chapter there. So let's dive right into it. My name is Vanessa Black, and we are on a mission here at Billionairette to impact the lives of billions souls all over the world to achieve personal freedom in their life, as well as financial freedom. And, this year has been absolutely amazing, just diving into books every single month on both personal freedom and financial freedom, and just continuing to grow every single day. Progress equals happiness. As long as we're progressing, as long as we're growing, that's where your happiness is going to lie. So congratulations to you for continuing to show up. Or if this is your first time, welcome. And we hope that you enjoy this time and continue to stay with us. All right. So let's do it. The concept of the law of giving and receiving. And again, in each law, he goes through the concept, the metaphysics, and then the action. So here's the concept of the law of giving and receiving. You ready? All right. People get confused about giving and receiving because they wonder how much they should give in order to receive. Sometimes they wonder if they are receiving a fair share, but the concept is easy once you look at it from the point of view of emotion and not money or chattel. The way to ensure that you will always have enough is to forget about the money and concentrate instead on giving of yourself emotionally. That is supporting people, putting out energy, and being there for others. People are scared and insecure, and they need emotional support. They need protection. It costs nothing to give it to them. To do so, you have to put aside your problems and worries. You have to subjugate your ego and get underneath people psychologically and push them up from below. You practice listening, empathizing, really hearing what they are saying instead of cocking an ear politely in their direction while thinking about something else. Look them in the eye when they speak. Repeat back to them words they have used so they know you have listened and understood them. When they are negative, come up with a few words of consolation. Recognize that their emotions are painful for them to bear. Say, for example, quote, "Gee, I understand that must be tough. It must be very disappointing for you that such and such a thing happened." Don't buy their emotion. Just be there for them while they let it out. Don't try to fix things. People usually don't need fixes. They just need a strong, kindly person to listen and to empathize. A few, quote, theirs is all it takes. Show interest in life and humanity and people. When you meet people, ask them questions. Where were you born? Who are you? Are you married? Where do you live? Be there for them and listen, listen, listen to the answers. Concentrating on people is loving them. So agree to concentrate. That is emotional giving. It helps people feel more secure. Then never deprecate them or their efforts. At best, you might suggest, in a non threatening way, some other course of action, one that might be stronger, more likely to succeed than the course that they've embarked on. Never trash people or dump on them. Never say things that might hurt them or scare them. Always try to keep them safe. Make these laws of giving a part of your code of living. You will fail, as we all do, and you'll get annoyed and lose it. But keep trying, for in the end, you'll have to fall in love with life and yourself. And falling in love with humanity is one of the ways that you learn to love yourself. It's the first hurdle in the giving game, falling in love with humanity. It's the way we master giving, and in doing so, we develop a spiritual quality. We develop charm. Through it, you become spiritually prettier. People respond to that. They will seek you out. Emotional support and protection is kind and benevolent. In a harsh dog eat dog world, it's pure heaven when you meet someone who's benevolent and kind and there for you. Once you have the emotional giving sorted, the rest of it follows along naturally. You give of money and gifts depending on what you can afford. You don't have to spend a lot. Sometimes a small gift, well chosen with the person in mind, is more valuable than something that costs a lot. When I was in the jeans business years and years ago, there was a person who came into the warehouse regularly. He had a company known as the Good Fairy. Whenever he visited, he arrived with a small present. It was just often a few sticky buns or chocolate or cold drinks, something like that. Everyone liked him, and we cut him all sorts of special deals on the jeans that he bought. He would have had his sticky bun money back from us a thousandfold in discounts on jeans because he thought of us and took time out to stop at the bakery before he came in to do business. He had giving and receiving sorted out. He was a very humble kind of guy, and he made millions in jeans and the property business. Good luck to him, I say. So the giving and receiving trick is not to be self-centered, and don't be a scaredy cat, tight ass. Remember, there is no shortage. Money is energy, and you are energy, and there is plenty of both. So give emotionally to others and open yourself up to being there for others. Be kind and emotionally generous, and never rob people of their positiveness or their hopes. Always build them up, never deprecate them, even if you consider their ideas a bit silly. Back them verbally and emotionally without condition. And if you really can't bring yourself to back them unconditionally, then at least be neutral, as I said. Now to the receiving. Get your head around the idea that everybody's money is your money. Do things that allow you to truly comprehend that the world is yours. Go to the art gallery in the town, look at the great works, and place the image of those pictures inside your heart. They are yours. Go to the jewelry store and mentally place those fine things inside you as well. It's nothing more than reaching out in your mind's eyes for a necklace, pulling it back and placing it inside you. It's now yours. Rather than being unobtainable behind the window as you gaze at it from the street, look at the fine things of life and own them mentally. Let them belong to you. Now let's start to affirm these ideas as true. Go take $1,000 out of the bank and try to never walk around with less than, say, 500 bucks, even if it's the last of your money. If you can't manage a permanent float of 500 right now, then settle for less, but carry cash with you everywhere you go. Of course, if you can manage more, carry a couple of grand. Don't worry about losing it or those negative waves about being robbed. You are in flow and balance and in charge of your money. No one's taking it from you. In fact, they're lining up to give you more. Get used to having money in your pocket, knowing that you are abundant and that more is coming, and knowing that you are responsible and you won't go potty and blow it all in 10 minutes if you can't afford to. Carry real money, not plastic. Credit cards have negative connotations. They are often a symbol of lack, not abundance. They're a mechanism that appeals to the ego, and so they control people. Using credit cards, people overspend, and that trips them into worry and fear, for the bill is on its way. Don't use credit cards unless you have to establish credibility, like at car rental companies. The rest of the time, use cash. It's solid and real, and it helps people and it helps you feel rich. Its presence in your pocket is an affirmation that you have money and that you are open and ready to receive even more. Next, believe in your abundance. When bills come in, pay them the same day. If you don't have the money yet, because, for example, you're waiting for payday, write out the check today anyway and post date it or leave the date blank. But the checks you owe on your desk, nice and neat in their envelopes, waiting in the line to be mailed, don't allow bills to rob your spirit of hopefulness. Be prepared to pay cash for everything right now and on the spot. After all, you want to receive right now, don't you? So don't contradict that by hanging on to money that's owed to others. Cut the check and know that the universe will provide. Here's a quickie. If you are massively in debt and out of control, file for bankruptcy. Get rid of all the old money aggravations and tell your creditors in the universe that you are sorry for mismanaging your life and for denying people their rightful payment. Then never accept credit again. I went to America, an illegal immigrant with very little cash. It didn't take me long to rack up a whole load of debt. That obligation and the weight of the emotion it caused me slowed me down a whole bunch. One day, I decided to sell everything and pay off large chunks of my debt, even though it would leave me with no assets in hand. I decided to pay all new bills in cash on the day they arrived, or because I traveled a lot within a few days of me getting back from a road trip. Then I did a deal with the people to whom I was in debt, and they had agreed to monthly payments. My biggest creditor was a sweet man named Bob. I owed him $55,000. So I sent him $55,000 checks. Every month, his money went through, and eventually I didn't owe Bob a dime. He got it all back. I made the affirmation that I wasn't going to live in the motion of lack anymore, and that even though I didn't have enough to pay all my old debts, I was ready to reform and simplify my life by creating no new debts. In addition, I agreed with myself to work especially hard to settle my old obligations. Doing this changed my financial situation around. It took me several years to get it all sorted out, as I was originally almost $400,000 in debt. But in the space of 5 years, I settled everything, including paying an ex-wife $100,000. And in addition to paying my debts, I made and saved several $1,000,000. Make the affirmation that you are abundant enough and disciplined enough to go to a cash basis, paying for things as you go. Soon your whole outlook changes. You go from desperately needing to win a little time for your bills to being serene and at one with your money trips. Suddenly, this mind shift clicks into the universe at large onto your side as you are now coming from strength. That solidity pulls money to you more and more. Of course, first you must go past your resistance to letting go. It's weird how it all works. I reckon it's your fearlessness and self-discipline that affects the change. I should also remind you that as part of your affirmation that you are open and worthy to receive, you will have to practice accepting what is offered to you in life. I deal with this idea a lot in my other books, so I won't dwell on it here, but let me remind you of the rule. First, whatever gifts that you are offered, no matter how useless or grim the gift might be, take it. Never refuse to receive. Worst case, you can always give that dreadful vase to someone you don't like. Second, never refuse money from anywhere. If friends offer to pay for dinner, let them. Be gracious and thank them and tell the universe, thank you for paying for my dinner. If a person wants to pay you for some inconsequential act, accept. And never ever walk past money on the street without picking it up, even if it is just a small coin. Humble yourself and stoop for it. It doesn't matter what others think. You can't put out the message that you are too proud or too uptight to receive free money. The universe doesn't know the difference between a dime and a million. If you refuse the dime, the universe thinks you don't want money. So you collapse your chances. Accept all that is offered to you, even the coins in the mud. Make it a rule never to refuse anything that comes to you for free. It's a powerful, powerful lesson right there. And I'll tell you a story at the end of this session that's important. Metaphysics. The metaphysics of giving are silent and center around the projection of your etheric subtle body. When you express hope and cheerfulness, when you are expressing outwardly, emitting energy, your etheric is like the sun. Remember, I said that negative energy makes your etheric collapse in on itself. The more you get used to projecting outwards, the longer your etheric reach becomes. It's an inner reach. So give silently. When you pass people on the street, mentally reach out and touch them in the heart and silently project the thought, love, or project admiration for them, even though you don't know them. Back them, believe in them, project goodness, hope, and positivity. If you see that they're upset, project the word thought, serenity or calm. If you see that they are angry, project peace. Don't judge them. Know they have some inner issue unresolved, probably from a long time ago. Love them even if they appear a bit ugly. Make it a rule never to pass a person in the street without projecting some kind of silent goodwill. Now, if you are coming out of the Tokyo Underground in the rush hour and there are 60,000 people there, don't mess with trying to get them all. Pick a few here and there and leave it at that. Otherwise, energy-wise, you'll be on your knees, but keep projecting silently for the eventual healing of everyone on the planet. Silently touching people that you pass without them knowing, like the way angels touch us in our sleep without us being aware of their presence. That's the metaphysical giving sorted out. Let the receiving come in from the inner worlds. For as you displace energy out from yourself into our external 3D world in a positive, silent way, you automatically pull more from elsewhere in the inner worlds. It comes to you as you project out. And it also comes to you in the night while you sleep. The energy coming in is pure spiritual light, and so you will feel more energetic and you'll have more stamina. Sometimes the light comes to you containing information. A thought goes off in your head, and suddenly you realize your need to buy $100,000 worth of aluminum futures. And so you act on that intuition and you buy them. Eventually, everyone else decides intellectually that aluminum is a good thing, and the price goes up. And you got the inside tip weeks ago. You've cleared your position. You're at the beach projecting the world relax to the vacationers who pass by, healing them bit by bit, one at a time. In a world where almost everyone projects uncertainty, some make a living projecting fear, and governments have whole ministries devoted to sustaining fear. It's a cool little whiz that knows how to turn his or her energy the other way and give out security. It makes you different, silently different. The energy builds over time, I promise. Action. One of the best actions you can perform in relation to giving and receiving is to keep a gratitude book. I understand that Oprah Winfrey recently picked up on this idea and she's been talking about it on TV. I haven't seen Oprah's show, but here's a technique in case you don't know it. You keep a journal of all the things that you are grateful for. You write in it every day as a discipline. Oprah suggests 5 things each day. It's a way of pulling abundance to you. In the act of being grateful, you are acknowledging your abundance. The fact that you have to take, say, 5 minutes to write in your journal each day means that you are observing your blessings. So you make them more real. Your mind projects more satisfaction and less lack. And so more good things come to you. Incredible chapter. That concludes today's Read With Me session on the law of giving and receiving. And on that note, this was a lesson that I had to learn of this particular law. So this was like years ago, probably 10 years ago. And I was driving in my car, and I was in a network marketing company. And at that time I had like no money. Okay. Like very little money in my wallet on me. And I was driving with someone in my car, and I needed to get gas. And so that person was like, let me take care of the gas. And I rejected. I was like, no, I got it. Even in my situation, I was like, no, I got it. And he said one very powerful thing that changed my perspective until this day. And it's basically what Stuart Wilde is sharing in this book. But he said it, how does it make you feel when you give? And I said, it makes me feel great. I love when I give. So he said, when you reject me trying to give you something, you're robbing me of that feeling. So you're being selfish. And I never saw it that way. It was like a different perspective. If it feels great to give, and I love to give, well, stop rejecting that feeling when somebody else is trying to give. And from that day forward, whenever somebody wanted to give me something, whatever it was, I practiced it. Just thank you. Yes, receive it, receive it. And that's what he's sharing here. Of when you see something on your floor, when somebody tries, hey, yeah, I'll pay for dinner, whatever it is, receive it. Thank you. And then thank God, thank the universe for paying for my dinner. So really, really awesome. It's a great practice. If you got something out of this, I hope you got tons of value. I know I did just re-listening to this. And what a great exercise as we walk on the roads, or we're driving, or we're walking on the sidewalks, to silently, as people walk past you, to silently give love their way, light their way. Practicing that. Doesn't have to be out loud. It could be a smile, but it could just be silently to every person, and getting in the habit of that. Super powerful. We'll continue to build up our energy. People will feel it. And yeah, and even when it's tough, as it can be tough, you can be neutral. So great practices that we've learned here in the law of giving and receiving. Would love to know your thoughts and what you thought about it. And we'll see you in the next Free With Me session on the law of 9 out of 10, which is the law of honor, integrity, and abundance. Page 85, if you have the physical book. And hope you have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. Appreciate you. Love you. Sending you a bunch of love and light and abundance your way. Remember, invoke, declare, speak your needs and your desires as fact, that it's already done, that it's already yours, because it is. Appreciate you. And we'll see you on the next Read With Me session.